we have the opportunity to share stories, information, perspectives with millions of people across the country and the world, including places like my home state of Missouri that is in desperate need of needing to know more about these issues.
As of 2015, 87% of characters obtaining abortions on TV were white women. And this contrasts with reality where the majority of American women who get abortions are women of color. We also see a lot of teenagers. Teenagers on TV proportionately account for twice as many abortions as their real-life counterparts.
Tonight we're here to talk about repro rights, right? And choices about how or how not abortion is addressed on TV. How well it's done, if it's done at all, and if it should be done.
We're a show about bodies in a very big way, and I think making a choice about your body was something we wanted to tell very clearly and simply.
I want for other people who are human beings what I want for myself. So I don't have to have a uterus or a vagina to understand what it means to live life on my own terms.
When there's a sex scene, we have characters talking about birth control or showing it, or in a way that's not cheesy or like, you know, like a PSA, but something simple, or conversation, dialogue between two people about contraception, or about how they feel about having kids, or about all of those, like showing openings like that as a writer, I think all contribute to the conversation.
In most states, not my home state of California, but most states, there are efforts to ban abortion. And they couch it in a lot of different ways. 6 weeks, by the way, that's way before most women even know they're pregnant. It's called the Heartbeat Bill, Ohio, and many other states. All the way up to 20 weeks. You know, so you have parental consent and parental notification laws. And then you have 3 or 4 states, one of which is Oklahoma, that actually is trying to pass a law. And in some states it's passed and it's been enjoined, and it says this: the man, the partner, the potential father, has to agree to the abortion, or you can't get it. And if he is not available, your next closest male relative can stand in. Hi, Dad. Hi, little brother.
Science is only as good as the people doing it, and you can have an agenda where people can make misrepresentation of facts look like legitimate scientific processes. I'm required to tell a woman that abortion can increase her risk for infertility and injury to her uterus, but those are the exact same attendant risks for giving birth.
When I went to Cuba, which is where I'm developing a show now, it was such a non-issue. It was there was no stigma. They were like, yeah, we get abortions, yeah, of course. Yeah, there's one right down and like it's paid for, and it was so interesting for me to see when you pull certain things out, like where in a place like that where there isn't all the feedback, or it's much more isolated, that there was no stigma.
If you've ever been on a bus or a subway or seen a billboard that said like, pregnant, need options, free ultrasounds, call us. Have you ever seen something like that with a picture of it? Okay. Those are actually ads to lure you into a place that is run by people who are not medical providers. Oftentimes the Knights of Columbus or the Catholic Church has bought them an ultrasound machine. They get you in the door. Oftentimes they open across the street from an actual provider or next to an actual provider. As someone's walking up to their appointment, say, oh, you have to come here to get your ultrasound and check in first, and then you go to that facility.
They have these conferences where they train people on how to open these centers and how to look and act and talk just like abortion providers, with the sole intent of attracting what they call abortion-minded women. What we're really hoping is that everybody does what John Oliver did and talk about these places and expose them, because when we talk to people about these centers, people are horrified.
And I think that things like the dramatically exaggerated physical risk of abortion on TV, that's an anti-abortion narrative. There's a reason that gets traction.
Let's thank our panel.
Yeah.